we got the new motor running. I'll insert a clip or two of it running. We had some little minor issues with fuel. I guess the way I had it set up, I kind of did it like fast. I wasn't really prepared. I just ran face first right into it. Just did what I had to do to get it running, basically. This distributor I bought for it was super cheap. HEI distributor, comes with a coil, has vacuum advance on it, which I've plugged off, but it still had wiggle room, a bunch of it. So the timing was, when you hit the timing light, you could see it wiggling around on there. So, and that thing is just a piece of crap. I'll tell you that right now. It is a piece of crap. So once I get the MSD stuff in there, that will fix the ignition timing portion of this. And once it's in the car, the fuel lines will all be right. I won't just have a freaking AN line sitting in a jug pulling, and a fuel pump, which is the same fuel pump that I have on the car that I'm using. Where did it go, actually? Did I put it? No, I don't think I put it in the trunk. No. But there's the battery we used. What did I do with the fuel pump? Oh boy. Gonna have to find that, because that's a brand new fuel pump. It's a Mallory gyro pump. So it doesn't work like a Holley does. It uses like a screw to pump the fuel. So it never gets hot. It doesn't, like, once it gets to a certain pressure, that's all it'll pump. It won't keep trying to pump more, you know what I mean? It doesn't, I guess I already said, heat the fuel. So it's a better pump than a Holley pump. What did I do with it? Huh. There it is. Alright. Still hooked up to the wires. And still has some fuel in it. Just kind of was in a bit of a hurry to get this stuff apart. That's what it is. Once I found out about these pumps, I immediately moved to this for street stuff that I don't need a lot of pressure for. Like the S10 has a much larger pump on it, but for the Nova, this is what I prefer. I've got one in the back here to run the car, and this one was going to go on the standalone tank up front for the nitrous, but I don't know, I'm still on the fence about that. I may do what I did on the S10, is use just a bigger pump back here to run both of them. I don't know. But if I don't, this pump will be going on the nitrous side. But they're really good pumps. I really like them. Let's see. Carburetor. This is an ATM carburetor. It, I guess because it sat here in the box for a year, the floats were stuck, so immediately fuel come popping out of both of these vent tubes about this high. I was like, holy crap. I didn't think for a second that the floats were stuck. I thought we had too much pressure. And you can, on those pumps, adjust pressure. It has a spot just like a regulator does. So I did that. I put the fuel pressure down. I had this on there just to help out a little bit. I got the pressure down to just under 3 pounds, and it still shot it up out of here. So we beat on the bowls a little bit and then tried it again. Problem fixed. So that's what that was. let's see here. The thing fired up pretty darn quick for the first fire up. Turned over a couple times and fired up. Of course, the timing was off, but it still ran pretty good. I didn't run it long. Let's see, we cranked it up a few times and let it run. I wanted to adjust the timing on it just so it run better. But with that distributor, man, the timing window is so small with it, but it jumps around so much, I couldn't get a real good reading. But once the MSD's in there, that'll fix all that. It'll be no problem. It had some, it revved pretty quick. Good throttle response. Really good throttle response. I don't know if you've seen it, but somebody makes these things that bolt down right here that comes over and it puts a flap over your jet or your nozzle and it makes it spray straight down in the hole. These, sorry about that, these, when you squirt, it comes over and it hits right here and it hits the booster. Yeah, hits the booster right over here on the side and it splashes out. So I'm going to look into getting those things. It makes it shoot straight down in there. And because I've got that same problem on the carburetor in the S10. Like, you'll see splatter marks all around the bowl where it hits the booster and then splashes out. So I'm going to look into those things, take care of that. They're cheap little things. Probably make it myself. It just screws down right here, and one flap covers this, one flap covers that, and it just doesn't touch it. It sticks out a little bit and just makes it shoot right down into the bowl. So I'm going to look into that. You could hear in the video, you could hear the rocker arms tapping. So that's good. It's good that we hear them tapping, because if we didn't, they'd probably be too tight. So, and I haven't done the final hot adjustment on them. It did get warm enough, but I had other stuff to do, and I had to get this all put up. So I'll do it once it's in the car. I've got switches to bump it over, so just like in the S10. I think I put them in there. Yeah, pretty sure I did. If not, I'll do it. It is so convenient to have a switch on each side of the motor to bump the motor over. You know, just a switch for the starter. Easy to install and such a big help. Otherwise, you got to get your remote starter out, reach down there, try to hook it up. That's the way I used to do it, but just having a switch there, so much easier. Let's see. The exhaust we were using, that I was using, came off of a truck. So the old truck exhaust, they curve kind of with the block because they need to go inside the frame of the truck. So they were hitting the cradle on both sides. So this part of the seal was completely open. Look at that. See that? That was completely open. It was a horrible seal. It wasn't a seal actually at all. So that was a problem. That was making it backfire. When you don't have any back pressure, it'll backfire. So that was a problem there. And I've got brand new headers in the Nova, and I've got full length exhaust with cutouts. So that's not going to be a problem. That thing's going to sound nice. Let's see. That's probably about it. That's all I can think of that went on with it. It did pretty good. Other than our little mishaps. Little fuel leak here. The exhaust being unsealed was a big problem because when it's turning over and not firing up, it'll build up fuel in the cylinders and shoot it out. So that was coming out the leaky part of the headers, and when it did fire, it actually caught on fire a couple times. So that was interesting. Wasn't bad. We had an air hose there and an extinguisher, and the air hose got it out right away. We just needed it to fire up right away. The timing was off at first, so it didn't, but we got it going. All right, so I'm going to put in some clips here of it running, and then I guess we'll be putting it in next. Actually, them pesky bolts on both sides of the pan, the ones that are so close to the pan itself that you can't get a socket on them, those are leaking on both sides. So I got to fix that. Right now I'm gonna put it on the engine stand, get it off this cradle so I can get to that stuff, fix that, and then it'll be ready to go in the car. So I'm about to take off the carburetor assembly, all that. Get rid of that stupid distributor. And I'm gonna unbolt it from the cradle, and then put it back on the engine stand. I think I already took it up there by the trailer. I did. I'll bring it back down here. I'm about to do that now, and then I got some other stuff to do. So until next time, here's some clips of that thing running.
Fuel pump up now?
It's okay, buddy.
Burned all of it out. Yeah, you gotta crank it. Yeah. Now,